And yet another 4-minute long video because of the fact that this camera sucks ass and I have no other available.
Let me see her.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the zany form of chaos magic that exists on the web, there is a band of brigands and fucking crack smoking. No, I'm just kidding. They're fucking awesome. I love the DKMU. They're on some other shit. Membership is considered when one considers oneself a member. But one does not have to be initiated in any traditional form to be a member. And thus everyone is able to use the link sigil. Or the LS. Oh, LS is very interesting. It fuels quite a large amount of magic. The intent that's placed on it is everything, and I would be very careful because it's a very powerful form of magic. Now, if you intend on placing shit on the web, the stylization is everything. The aesthetic really is super important. If you read Liber LS, which is on the DKMU's forum, you will find that there's several different stylizations. There's one that can stun energy in a local area and cause it to become more neutral, which is a good way of operating if you're not sure where you're fucking at or what's around you and you don't want to just go pulling anything into your aura. That's great. Also, which I would have wished that I fucking knew before I started using it. I did not read the manual because I'm fucking retard sometimes. And there's literally a fucking instruction manual, for Christ's sake. They tell you how to do this shit. They're like, look, this is the original one. This is another one. This is another one. There's another one that can funnel any type of energy around you. So, for example, say you're doing a wealth working, a wealth ritual, and you're using planetary magic, and it's the day of Jupiter, Thursday, and you really want to amp your shit up, you can use them at the 4 cardinal points surrounding your circle or what the fuck ever, making them into little brackets around you and charge them the fuck up as per your, method, as per your want. And, it really gives some oomph to your shit. I got 2 free pizzas the other day because I used it on somebody. I just drew it on someone's back. Literally, this is how potent this shit was. I drew it on somebody's back using a spiral on the base of their spine, Kundalini rising, up into the LS, and drew a bunch of other sigils. Now, I posted this sigil piece in the Octarine Armada, which is a branch of the DKMU for specific things. And somebody was like, enjoy an unforgettable luncheon. I was like, what the fuck? 2 days later, 2 free pizzas arrive and nobody in the house ordered them, or nobody that we knew ordered them. They just appeared. Okay. And someone even asked, is this 1092? And we're like, yeah, it is. So they verified that it was the right address. It wasn't even that it was sent to the wrong place. Weird shit like that happens all the fucking time with using the LS. Also, weird shit can occur after you put your intention on it, which is what happens when you link directly to the web. So that dot on the point where the S is, because it's a S rune. It's the Sowilo, turned sideways. Or, well, not really sideways, but at an angle. So much like that. And a 90-degree angle. And they're combined. If there's a point onto it, that sticks you onto the web. That is a node on the web. Also, you can interact with the group's egregor which is Ellis, who is actually linked to Eris. I found that out in a weird way, and I didn't once again read the fucking manual. This happened as Gnosis. Me and my crew were performing a group ritual of the Daemon Paimon, King Paimon. Shouts out. He's fucking awesome. Work with him. Don't be afraid. Don't think, oh, well, he's a king. I can't fucking interact with him. He's fucking cool as shit. But he will try the fuck out of you if you don't have your shit together. If you can work on other areas, he will make it known to you creatively, you know, even if they're unbeknownst to you. If you're not doing the work with your higher intelligence, they will force the shit out of you. Literally. They go plumbing sometimes. Some of them won't treat with you, but he will. So anyway, that was another thing. I think I deleted more space so this video is longer. I didn't realize there were that many videos on here. Sorry. Anyway. So back to using the LS. The LS is great because of the fact that, like I said, it affords any kind of energy that's around you to be focused on you. So you really want to be careful when you use it, but it is like a giant astral magnifying glass. Or fucking microscope, or however you want to view it. I've noticed that a lot. There's a lot of occultists that are just like, make smoking a huge thing in their videos. It's not like it's like a trend. It's a weird trend. It's just like they're always like chilling, smoking, you know, pipe, cigarette, cigar, what the fuck ever. Maybe it's, I know there's a lot of magic that can be performed actually by the use of tobacco, but I'm just saying because it's weird. I didn't mean to be part of a trend. My girlfriend literally was just like, here, you want one? And I never smoked, but I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it, whatever. So with the DKMU and the LS, I haven't worked through a lot of the different egregors. I worked with Doombringer, and I can tell you that I've worked with Ellis a few times. She's very interesting. One time we did a ritual 3 days prior to tripping on mushrooms, and something that was done, once again, sober, played out when we were high. So this is how big of an effect it has on the reality that you're living. And she likes to get you. She likes to surprise you. She's like a spider on a web, literally. She just springs on you. Hence the whole octarine thing. You know, 8 legs of the spider, fucking the number 8 being the representative of an hourglass, the serpent biting its tail, that whole fucking thing, the philosopher's stone. It's all very basic symbolism, but it's all very potent nonetheless. So we were doing ritual, or I should say I was. My girlfriend was just recording the events because she hadn't really started working at all at that time. She was just noting changes and, you know, all that kind of shit. So I used the LS for the first time. Went all out, put a fucking tutu on, gender bender kind of shit, and a fucking really masculine like vest. Fucking used words of power around the circle. Interestingly enough, I put AOS and Aleister Crowley, well, theory on. So I guarded the circle with the words of power, AOS, Austin Osmond Spare, and Therion. To meta Ophion, to be exact. Without even knowing that they had been involved, mind you. It just seemed right to do. So I did that. I put a Chaos Sphere with an LS in the center of it, and myself and my altar on the inside. The events that occurred were quite large. My solar chakra opened up, you know, the Svadhisthana, which hadn't been awakened at the time. like pretty much all my other shit was, except for that. It hurt like a bitch. Felt like somebody was stabbing me continuously with a knife. And then I performed the death posture, which is when you like stand on your tippy toes and strain all of your muscles up at once until you perform like sensory overload in one motion, and you kind of just fall out, and your subconscious activates through that. I know that it was ecstatic possession from the entity known as Austin Spare, and the reason why I will tell you this is because I don't have the dexterity to do shit like that. I've tried. I can't fucking do it. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack ain't doing that fucking shit. I can't. Doesn't happen. So it happened that day, sure as fuck, sure as shit. And 2 days later, we're all tripping on mushrooms, right? Well, we went for a walk because naturally, ingesting mushrooms 95% of the time will make you want to be out in nature. That's just an effect of it because they're sentient. They're fucking localized intelligence that grow here. Starting to sound like fucking Terrence McKenna, but you know what? I don't give a fuck because not only was he a genius and what he was talking about was true and verifiable. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. Go and check it for your fucking self. That's how it's fucking verifiable, is you can go do the thing. Which is exactly what fucking magic is. So, took some mushrooms, went for a fucking walk around the block, right? We get down on 30th Street, which is right around the corner from us. And it literally felt, you could feel like a paradigm shift, like we hit a wall, an invisible wall, and like went through. And in our third eyes, everybody was seeing the same scene. And I'll tell you how I knew that in just a second. Fuck. And I don't have a lighter. Goddamn. Oh well. Oh. Thank you, Steph. So, hold on. So, we're going down 30th Street, and we hit this wall, and we're all seeing the same scene in our eyes, which is like a Candyland meets like Alice in Wonderland type thing. Green rollicking hills that are fucking rolling and going on for miles and miles and fucking miles. Emerald green grass, a sea of it, churned by wind, and there's like candy cane type fixtures sticking out of it. It's really fucking hokey, but it's really beautiful and it's kind of cutesy. And all of a sudden, Kate, my girlfriend, says, to be accurate, Catherine, but Kate, Catherine, Katie, whatever. She's beautiful, beautiful soul. She's like, I feel like I'm in Wonderland. And I look over at her, and Onyx goes, her former best friend goes, yeah, I feel like I'm a Mad Hatter or something like that. And what's crazy as fuck is this was a case of ecstatic possession. Neither one of them remembered saying this. After we were home, after we were sober, nothing. And I was the only one who could verify it. And I'm like sitting there looking crazy as fuck, foaming in the mouth, going, yeah, you did. You fucking said it. You said it. I heard you. I heard you, motherfucker. So it was Alice being playful. Neither one of them knew about the connotations with the DKMU and the LS being linked to Alice in Wonderland type theme or imagery. But I did. And so it was beta festing in the queerest way. And that was, of course, because of the ritual that was performed, because I called out to Alice on her web and told her that I wanted to make magic a very viable thing. So the DKMU's whole mission, by the way, is, well, I wouldn't say the whole mission. I would say the greater part. Everybody has an individual agenda, of course. Even yours truly. But as co-conspirators, they are linked for the purpose of disintegrating the lie that most of consensus reality has set up, which is consensus reality. They want to break that down. They want weird shit to happen on the reg rather than at random, which is beautiful if you ask me. Their hopes of making society a brighter place is like akin to Walt Disney with Mickey and Minnie Mouse. You know, I mean, you have World War II. You couldn't imagine a more bleak time. Millions of fucking people were dying. Not millions, but hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Might have been. Actually, I think it was quite a large amount. But anyway, I don't remember the exact totals. Point is, there was so much death it wasn't even fucking funny. Couldn't imagine a bleaker time in history, you know, unless you refer to another period of genocide. You know, you could talk about the Armenians. You could talk about fucking anybody. You know, you could talk about fucking when the Irish were slaves and fucked with. The point is he created something from that barren time. And if you look at the way that our world is heading right now, it's just phylogeny recapitulating history. And it's getting old. So we have to find another route to where we don't have to undergo so much bullshit. Or do we? Who knows? Maybe that's the nature of beauty in and of itself, and maybe all the magic would vanish if we found a solution. I'm kind of just ranting off topic at this point. I don't know. But one thing I do know, that word is very nebulous, by the way. One thing I have experienced is that oftentimes the brightest things shine in the darkest places. You know, there's more splendor to something that's been covered up and then springs on you all of a sudden than something that's, you know, quite brilliant already. You're expecting it. With the other, you're not. So do go into dark holes. Do be careful that what you find is what you're looking for and not something that's going to drive you stark raving mad. But in the words of Charles Bukowski, another angle of looking at it would be to find what you love and let it kill you. Because then at least you'll have a beautiful death. And that's noble. That was the idea of war in the earliest dawn of this time. There were codes of ethics, you know. You wouldn't necessarily kill the women and children. You'd respect them and revere them. You would hold them under the weight and thumb of your political agenda. But a lot of times, too, you know, it would be brother versus brother. And so there was very camaraderous spirit when you slew. You would slay with the intent of providing a future. You were clearing away. You were threshing. You were the Grim Reaper's scythe. And you were threshing the floor. That way a new crop could be sown. Yeah. DKMU are beautiful people. Weird, strange, slightly deranged, which is partly the reason why I guess I fit it in. We're all mad here.